Rescuers are continuing their search off the coast of Greece for victims of a boat that has claimed the lives of at least 79 migrants. Hundreds are thought to have been on board this ship, which is travelling, we think, between Tobruk in Libya and Italy, and it capsized around 80 kilometres southwest of Pylos in Greece. The bodies of some of those who have drowned have been brought to the port of Kalamata, where some 100 or so survivors are also being treated. Our Europe correspondent Nick Beak has the very latest from Greece.
The true scale of this disaster is not yet known, but it's clear it's extremely bad. More than 100 people were rescued, but survivors claim up to 700 people were on board the boat when it began to sink. And this was the vessel, packed in the deepest part of the Mediterranean Sea. No one seemingly wearing a life jacket.
It is indeed a tragic situation, a very difficult situation with a very large number of shipwrecked people. A number I think we haven't faced in the past to such an extent. I'm afraid the number of victims will be higher because the number of people on board was much higher than the capacity that should be allowed for this boat.
Those aboard are thought to have set out from Libya and were heading for Italy. The Greek Coast Guard said they approached the boat, but their offer of help was rejected.
We are shocked. We are shocked, like everyone in Greece. Obviously, after we were informed of this incident, all services were mobilised. The municipality of Kalamata, healthcare, etc. We have prepared. We are hearing that, unfortunately, the number of dead is increasing.
But as Greece's president visited the scene, a charity that supports migrants was accusing the Greek authorities of knowing about the boat being in distress for hours before going to its aid. The disaster has prompted more calls for a joint effort to reduce the number of crossings.
This is yet another example of the need of member states to come together and create orderly, safe pathways for people forced to flee and for comprehensive action to save lives at sea and reduce perilous journeys.
Here in Greece, a search and rescue operation has gone on throughout Wednesday, but hope of finding more survivors evaporated pretty quickly. More than 70,000 people have reached Europe so far this year by boat, and the worry is that with the weather continuing to be good and as we reach the height of summer, more people, despite this tragedy, will attempt the treacherous journey. A journey that continues to claim the lives of so many people, desperate to reach Europe, believing they'll find a better life. Nick Beak, BBC News, Athens.
Live now to Daphne Tollis, who is in Athens. Daphne, we heard from Nick there that, you know, the likelihood is that there will be more people who are trying to make this really perilous journey as the weather remains fine. Shipwrecks, drownings, they've become commonplace tragedies in this area of water. How is the atmosphere on the ground in Greece at the moment?
Well, as you probably know, Greece has been at the forefront of this refugee or migrant crisis since 2015. But the route from North Africa to Italy, which now we are seeing is becoming more frequent through the central Mediterranean, is the deadliest in the world, according to the International Organization for Migration. So at the moment, Greece's Take Care Prime Minister declared 3 days of national mourning. And he said that everyone's thoughts are with and all the victims of the ruthless traffickers who take advantage of human misery. So as we see, people are here in Greece, at least, they are pointing to the smugglers, the human traffickers that actually put those people on the boats, on unseaworthy vessels, and basically leave them to travel in international waters in unseaworthy vessels, and sometimes, or most of the time, without life jackets.
So why is it that it is the deadliest passage in the world? Is it to do with the stretch of water itself, or is it to do with the fact that there isn't an action plan in place for vessels that are in distress, or is it a lack of a safe pathway politically between the countries bordering this region? I mean, what are the major problems here? Why are so many people dying?
Well, this is a big discussion, but definitely all these factors that you mentioned are valid, basically. So it's, of course, a political decision of providing a safe passage. But with many countries in the EU not bearing the cost of this human migration or the refugee pathways that has seen more than 1 million people crossing only in 2015 from the Turkish coast to Greece and then to other countries in the EU. This means that other legal pathways that were or are available are not chosen, are not the option. So most people resort to the smugglers, which promise a safe, well, I don't know, they promise a route or they guarantee that they will get these people, these desperate people. Sometimes, they're escaping Syria, Afghanistan, other conflict areas. They are promising them that they will take them to Greece, which is in the European Union, and then from then on to other countries.
Daphne, we're going to have to leave it there for the moment, but I know bodies are still being pulled out of the water and people being treated on the coastline. So thank you very much for that. I'm sure we will end up returning to this story when we have a little bit more information. Thank you.